Hi guys, I am back with the Sam's Bead Box tutorial, and I'm super excited because I got a new cable. I guess a new attachment, new cable to be able to see what I'm doing from my computer. That way I don't go out of frame, which when I'm editing, it's so frustrating to me. I can't imagine to you guys. So as I'm making my tutorials or making my things, I'll be able to see what I'm doing, and that is super exciting. So in this video, what I'm gonna do is show you a tutorial on a lovely butterfly using the beads from Sam's Bead Box. But stay till the end because I'll be showing you other things that I made. That way you have some inspiration. If you did order the box, it'll give you some inspiration. Or if you have beads that are similar, you can use those as well. So without further ado, let's get into it. All right, so I'm going to take some Bead-A-Lon 20 gauge wire. And this is a German style wire, which is a little bit harder than the artistic wire, which is good for this in this case because it'll hold the shape a little better. You know, as far as this is meant to be more of a pendant, but you can make it larger and use like an 18 gauge, which is a thicker gauge. You can use an 18 gauge and make it into like a sun catcher. This design is inspired by a designer that I found on Etsy. She made a butterfly and I got the idea to make something similar, but for the use that I wanted to. I saw a lot of butterflies, a lot of wire butterflies, but this one is the one that I like the most. So I will credit her in the description box below. So let's get started. So what I'm gonna do, oops, there goes the wire. So what I'm gonna do is I'm going to take 26 centimeters. Lately I've been doing all these trainings and they've taught me in centimeters. So it's 26 centimeters, and I'm going to take my wire and kind of straighten that out a little bit. Let's see. And cut it right there. And I'm using gold because A, it looks good with these beads. I think it'll look better than silver. And B, I'm going to use bronze wire, antique bronze, and I think it'll look kind of antique. I love monarch butterflies, so that I think it'll kind of be reminiscent for me to a monarch butterfly. All right, so you're gonna take this, and you're gonna need, of course, your round nose pliers. But this time I have these, they're mandrels from Beadsmith, and they're used to make shapes, and they have all these sizes. So I'm gonna grab this one. Which one is this? This is the 7/8 inch mandrel. And what I want to do is just make a curve. Basically, I'm going to start with a curve like so, right up here, and just kind of, because we're going to start with our antenna, and now that we have it nice and curved like that, we're going to just do a little, like right at the quarter of your round nose plier. I'm going to take this tip right here and turn. This is just a little loop. If you want to straighten it out, you could do it like that. Then what I did to make sure it didn't get too, and that I would have even measurements, because you got to do both sides separate. So what I did was take this and measured here all the way, started like at the little loop there, measure to the 6, because that's how basically long we're going to need it. So you're going to basically take, kind of bend, make a little bend like so, and then you can take the top of your pliers like this and go around to make, just see how you made that little like loop there, like though, like that, and just kind of squish it a little bit. Oop. You can grab it like that. Just kind of give it a little bit of a squeeze to make it a little bit thinner. And then what you're going to do is take, well, first this way, and then you're just going to twist it so that it's vertical, just like that. See how it's, you've got that vertical wire just like that. So now that you have that, and you can eventually, once you're done, you could kind of fine tune the finishes if you want. But now what we're gonna do is bend this right about there, like that. Take this side and make sure that you're bending at the same side, like that. And then this here, you're gonna grab it with your fingers slightly. Let me move all this out of the way so it's not distracting anybody. So slightly, because what you want to do is make sure that this is going to touch this side, the body, like that, like so. And then make sure that you go a little bit above the antenna, just to go like that. And then I'm going to take my 6-step. You can either use your 6-step loop or like part of the smallest mandrel in that set, like so. And just put your thumb there and give it a bend, like that. Now remember that a butterfly's wing is a little bit curved. So we're gonna do kind of right with this one, we're gonna do like a little teardrop. So we're gonna go again. We're gonna again with our fingers, now that the wire is nice and warm. See how we have our half? This is a teardrop right there. And we want that teardrop to cross. And if you want it a little bit pointier, you can always squeeze it. But we want that teardrop to cross right here. Again, because this is where we're gonna do our wire, like that. And see how we have that teardrop right here? And hopefully this, and you can always rewind it. But that is the teardrop. And then we're just going to gently just kind of go with the flow of the wire. Use your thumb. And then this part here, we're going to take the end, and that I would use the either your larger part, if you don't have a 6-step plier, the larger part of your round nose pliers. But what I did was that I took this one right here, the thicker, the second one basically, and I did a little loop, but I didn't close it, just about there. And then take my nylon pliers and continue that loop slowly and gently, so that you don't, kind of keep your finger here so that it moves with your finger, like so. And you're kind of continuing that loop. What I didn't do was kind of, I want to not close it, but I do want that loop to be rounded like that. See how I did? And then again, I'll grab my plier and kind of bring that little gently. You could also straighten it if you think that it's not gonna take the shape you want, but I would do all the way kind of like that. Oops, let me just get it a little bit round. You can even use your fingers if you wanted to, but you want to make a nice swirl is basically what I'm going for. So now you have half, and then this, you can always open it a little bit more if you want these kind of bring this teardrop a little bit farther out, like that, and make sure that you have this twist, because that gives that beautiful edge to the butterfly. And then you can widen this if you wanted to, if it's not, and kind of, this is where you do all the shaping that you want. But you know, don't get too frustrated. It takes a little bit of time and patience. I did like a lot of these before I mastered it, but once you wire it all together, like I'm going to show you guys, then you can just finish. We can fine tune all the little details here that we want to do. I'm going to go ahead and make the other side, and I will be right back. Okay, so we have our little two sides of the butterfly. I know it looks a little weird right now, but once we get the beads on and we get it wired up, it's going to look a lot better. But this is basically the frame that we're starting off with. Now what we need to do is, I have some of this wire, and it is 24 gauge in the vintage bronze. Like I said, it just kind of, I want it to be inspired by a monarch. I love monarch butterflies. Or this is a monarch inspired pendant. So basically what we're gonna do is cut a piece of this wire. Usually, sometimes I like to work off the roll, but since this is a little bit more involved, I'm gonna do like Meredith from Bead says, I'm gonna do a wingspan. So basically you open your arms and it's as far as it'll go. And cut that off, like so. And put that here. And then we're gonna take some of these little beads, put those in a little, you can get a variety of colors. And now let's start putting together a butterfly. So I'm gonna take one side, take this side first. And what you wanna do is anchor your wire to the frame. So what I'm gonna do right now is just anchor it to the antenna. So I'm just going to hold this here, and instead of passing through that whole long length of wire, I'm just gonna wrap the antenna with the little short. Give it about these 3 wraps and kind of put them together. You want to be gentle so you don't change the shape of the butterfly, so you don't misshape the butterfly, I guess is the word. And just want to tighten that up. So now that we have our wire nice and anchored on here, hang on, let me just grab, that way I won't, I'm gonna grab my wire, so that I don't damage the wire, and kind of keep that in place. There, tighten up that. So now that we have that, now we're just going to start, bring it down a little bit where we're gonna wire wrap, like about there. And now we can start. I like to push it this way, that way I don't get any bends in the wire. So do 1, 2, I'm gonna do 1 more. Oops. And then kind of, you want to squish it together so that it's all nice and tight. And then do 3. I'm gonna do 4 little wraps here, just kind of to make sure it's nice and sturdy. And 4, like that. And then we're gonna add the other side, but I flipped this over to make it easier to add this butterfly here, this side to it. Oops. We wanna make sure that the 4 wires are nice and flat. That will bring these 2 sides together, kind of like sewing. We're gonna grab this and then bring it back through here. And bring it back through here. And tighten that up. See how we're starting to get these 2 butterflies together. And I'm just going to, and this is not going to show, and this side of the, you know, this, you'll see where we're going to cover that up with the beads. So let's get this wired up. Just want to make sure I'm leaving this nice and flat. So when you pull to make sure that it's, you know, that it's not loose, but also don't pull too hard that you bring the wires one on top of the other, because you need that little platform, so to speak, for the beads that we're going to be adding. Now what I want to do is get these in place. So I'm gonna go, oops, where is it? Like that. But I'm gonna bring it in through here to catch that little wing and bring it, no, where is it? Yeah, the other way around, Maria. Now we want to put the wings in place. So I'm just going to bring it through here and through the other little wing, like so. Now we're going to have a bigger platform, so to speak, bigger area, a wider area, not a bigger area. Gonna have a nice wider area to work with to put our, to attach our beads. Again, all this wire is gonna be covered, so don't stress too much about it. Go right here and there. And then just start to put these together like that. And there we go. Bring it through again. The other side. And see, now we've got our butterfly now is joined. And what you can do if you want to is bring in your nylon pliers. Let me just and squish this together to make it nice and firm and flat. Let's try to get in there without. Okay. Now we have all 4 pieces nicely. Almost, there's just probably a couple more wraps. All right, so let's squish that a little bit. Now we squish that, get it nice and flat. And now we have our little platform to add our beads to. So I'm gonna start with this little brown, green one. Add that here. Like so. Just make sure you stay in the middle. That you're keeping your beads in the middle and they don't go back to one side or the other. And now we're just going to go back up with the beads. Which will reinforce the bodice or the spine of the butterfly, which is good. Be nice and strong. And add that one right here. Make sure that I'm going over it, back up. There we go. Just kind of have to make sure you're placing the wire in the back to help you maintain those beads nice and centered like that, and hold them in place. You can pull a little bit if you want to make sure they're nice, they're not jiggling around, but just make sure you're keeping them in the center. So see how I'm just kind of bringing this down on this side, because I don't want it to, you can even use your pliers to bring this down a little more and keep this little antenna free. So I think I'm just gonna go through here. I like giving it extra strength, just so I know that these beads are secure, especially if you like to sell your pieces, you don't want them to fall apart. And now we got a nice tight fit. The antennas are nice and free, and we have our adorable little butterfly. Fix the beads here. They move out of place, and then we'll cut this wire off right in there. Make sure you don't cut anything else, because I've done that before and wanted to cry. Where you cut the wrong wire, and if it's happened to you, you know what it's like. Make sure there's no sharp edges. I can feel that little edge in there. Make sure it won't catch on anybody's clothes. There we go. So now that we have our little butterfly like that, isn't that adorable? Not to toot my own horn, but I think it's adorable. Now, to put some finishing touches on, if you want, you can leave it that way. If not, you can do some wire work on it. And what I am going to do is spread these a little bit apart the little bottom wings like that. So I have some really thin artistic wire. This is a 28 gauge wire, and it is perfect to wrap around things like this, like delicate items. So again, I'm going to take a wingspan. And if I need more, you can always add more like that. And cut this off. I think it's the wire that I dropped, not the bead. And then I'm just going to anchor it to the little bottom wing. I always have to remember how I want to start. Even if it's in the back, it's still going to look, the weave we're going to make is the same, and it's going to look the same in the back and in the front. So I'm just going to anchor this on to the bottom wing with 3 wraps, like so. And bring this down to the very bottom. Oh, now to start our weave, we're gonna wrap around all the way to the top. Take the bottom end and, oh wait, like this. Okay, so we're gonna wrap the bottom. We were wrapping the top, so now we're gonna wrap the bottom, include the bottom, and we're gonna go up and wrap the top one once. And this is gonna be the weave we're gonna use for the entire little bottom wing. And then we go all the way around. Then we're gonna wrap the bottom one again, like that. Just kind of start bringing them down with your nail. And then we're gonna go back up to the top through the front. And bring it down, and then when you go around the top, you go through the bottom. That way both sides look the same. And you're gonna go through, again, wrap the bottom. You're gonna go through the top. It's almost gonna look like we're almost doing like 8s. So we're gonna go through the bottom to the top, like so. Again, every time you get a chance, just push it down. And don't start tightening this too much, because what you want is this to stay nice and open. So wrap the top wire, and then you're gonna go to the bottom one through the back. Again, oops. Like so. And now the top. And we're gonna go just like that all the way through. Okay, so I am back and I'm done with my butterfly here. What do you guys think? I think it's a really cute butterfly to hang. You can either do from the antennas, put 2 jump rings here or from here, and then put a chain through it. You could possibly, I mean, basically it's wherever you want to take your creativity. You can hang a loop here as you're creating your butterfly. That way you can hang some beads from the butterfly. You can fill, like I said, these wings in, or even put, little beads around the wings. So you can embellish it any which way you want. I just didn't want to make this video too long, and I kind of like the way it looks like that open. So I don't know, what do you guys think? All right, so that is the butterfly kind of inspiration. I also made this bracelet with the squares. They were garnet squares. These are check glass, and then I used those like Hawaiian flowers, and I made a three bead bracelet, and I think it'll look really nice. Oops, let me use my look really nice, is because it's more I wanted it to be more on the twisted side, so it looked more fuller, I want to say. I put some little pearls in there. The pearls are still very much trendy this season. So that's the one that I use for the this is the bracelet I made with those squares. And then I grabbed one of the Blue Plates quartz point, and I gave it a little bail, and I did some wire wrapping around it. You can either use one individual one and put it on a chain and just have that one individual quartz, and the colors really shine through. It looks just very, I don't know, just gives it that elegance with the wire wrapping around it. And finally, I made wire wrap bracelet. These are all little put together by some wrap loops, and I did make the hook by hand, so it's handmade. And then I put one of the little flowers. So that's kind of, I didn't think of any earrings just yet, but I wanted to get this video out so you guys could see. And like I said, if you subscribe or ended up subscribing to it, you can see, you can get some ideas, some inspiration. I hope you like them. Let me know what you guys think. And that is all for this video. Thank you so much for watching. Let me know in the comments what you guys think. Take care. Don't forget to subscribe and give this video a big thumbs up, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.